What up, soul siblings? My name is Michael. Welcome to Misfit Tarot, where you can come as you are and feel right at home because when no one fits in, everyone has a place. So, not too much to say about today's reading. It's going to be for the second week of September 2023, which will be the 11th through the 17th. And I'm fairly confident that this one is actually going to be shorter than my other readings because I put a lot less sections in it today. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys had a good first week of September, and let's go over to the pile selection later.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to your pile selection. I just wanted to say real quick something I forgot to say in the intro is that even though I give those dates for the week that I'm doing the reading for, it doesn't have to be, exactly those dates that this thing is happening. The energy can kind of carry over a few days before or a few days after. So just keep that in mind when you're listening to your readings. As far as the markers today, I chose these owls. I actually didn't have a super specific reason like I usually do. I just was looking at my different options, and for some reason, this one was calling to me and the other ones were not. And I thought that was really cool because I'm actually filming this after I did all the readings, but I had already chosen which ones were going to be 1, 2, and 3. And that was actually a big kind of overarching message in all three readings was that sometimes you don't need a logical reason to make a choice to do something. So yeah, just wanted to throw that out for you guys here. We got group 1, group 2, group 3. Go ahead and take your time, make your choice, see which one is calling to you, and I will see you guys in your reading later.
What up, Group 1? If you guys chose this owl right here, this is going to be your reading for the second week of September 2023. So, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to start off with the energy check. So, remember, energy check is your chance to feel it out, use your intuition. If it's feeling like what's coming out is resonating with you in your situation, then this is your group. If not, go back, maybe choose another one, see if that resonates more with the energy you're in right now. And also, this energy check is where I ask your spirit team what are the things that they want you guys to be focusing on the most during this second week of September. So let's go ahead and get a song for you guys. You guys got Boys Don't Cry by The Cure. With this song, it's giving me the energy of maybe you guys hiding your feelings, not letting yourself feel your feelings all the way, maybe dissociating when it comes to certain uncomfortable feelings, because basically the part of this song that sticks out the most to me lyrics wise, as he says, I tried to laugh about it, cover it all up with lies. I tried to laugh about it, hiding the tears in my eyes, 'cause boys don't cry. Boys don't cry. So, obviously, this is the spiritual community, guys. We don't hang on so tight to gender as we did back in the day, but this sentiment of boys don't cry, that can be translated to anybody. It doesn't matter the gender. There's also that saying, big girls don't cry, stuff like that. So the idea is that everybody fucking cries. Like, everybody wants to cry. It's a natural human physical phenomenon, process, function of the body to cry. But this isn't just about crying. This could be anger. This could be love. This could be any type of emotion you can think of. That's going to be up to you guys to decide what exactly your spirit team is coming through here to tell you that you should be feeling more, but I'm sure, intuitively you guys have a feeling already of what we're talking about here. And if not, then, it's definitely a good time to do some reflecting on what emotions are you not letting yourself feel, and what are you not feeling, to the fullest. So we also have here the Death card coming out from the Misfit Oracle deck. And with Death, I always just think of that as transformation. Some people see it as an ending, but I think in reality, our universe doesn't exist in a linear sense. If anything, it's more cyclical. And, again, when there's death, there's going to be some kind of birth after. You see this everywhere in nature, you know what I mean? Death does not mean the end of something. Yes, some species go extinct, but then again, new species can come into existence as well. So, also with this Adventurer card coming out, I think that this is calling you to start a new chapter of your life. Often death can talk about that. Like I said, death is the ending of one chapter, the beginning of another one. It's a transformation. You guys are looking to, and again, also this card came out, Sword, with Make the Change. So definitely a lot here pointing to you guys wanting to make a change. And I think with the Boys Don't Cry song coming out, it's making a change in how you guys process your emotions. Like I said, maybe there's some way that you guys dissociate when you're not in a good place. You try to avoid your feelings, you try to distract yourself with something else. Maybe you guys use substances. Maybe you guys succumb to other addictions, shopping, video games, TV. Could be so many things. And, obviously, I'm not here to shame anybody for playing video games or shopping or drinking alcohol, any of that stuff, but we need to remember that these things need to be done in moderation. There's a difference between, coming home at the end of a long day, playing some video games for a little bit, unwinding, and doing some other things as well. There's a difference between that and just like playing for hours and hours and hours to the point where it's taking so much of your time in your life that it's distracting you from other things that are also important. You know what I mean? Same thing with drinking. Same thing with getting high, whatever it is. Shopping, when you're shopping, you're spending money that could be used on other things. So that's just a message that's coming through right now, is remember that your most valuable resource in life is your time. You know what I mean? In a day, we have so much time to make so many decisions, to make so many actions, to have so many experiences. It's important to be as conscious as we can with what we're filling that time with. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, when you're spending your time distracting yourself from things that are really important to you, you can end up with regrets later of thinking, oh, I shouldn't have spent so much time doing this. That's actually, I think, one of the biggest regrets that a lot of people have when they are, facing death, actual physical death, is that they didn't spend as much time doing what they were passionate about, doing what they loved. They spent time being afraid. They spent time people pleasing, doing what other people wanted of them. You know what I mean? So that's another message coming out for you guys here. And also with that boys don't cry, that kind of reinforces that, where it's like, you wouldn't even think that if it wasn't coming from the outside. Like, there's nothing that we're born with that tells us don't be crying right now, like that's a weakness, blah blah blah. If we're just living without these expectations, you feel like you want to cry, you cry. There's a reason you're crying. You're feeling something, you know what I mean? So same thing, like I said, if you're angry, if you're upset, if you're happy, like, these are all things that I think your spirit team wants you to pay attention to. They want you to be more in touch with your feelings, because I think you guys are looking for this feeling where there's more of an adventure, you know? When we're afraid of change, when we're seeking just comfort, we don't take risks. And I think one of the most fulfilling experiences in life is taking risks. And, you know, with this adventure, he's here with this match in his hand and he's off on an adventure. He can't see too far in front of him. He just has this match and there's all this darkness in front of him. There's all this mystery, you know, surrounding where he's headed, or she, or they. But that's part of the adventure. That's part of the fun, you know. That's something, you know, again, as a child, we love that. We love that feeling of not knowing what's going to happen. We love surprises, but as we get older, we go through certain experiences and we're taught things that make us afraid of taking risks. They make us afraid of being embarrassed, afraid of being wrong, afraid of failure. All these things that then start to prevent us from taking action that might yield that result. But I think your spirit team is calling you, that your soul deep down really wants to change that. They really want to embody this energy more of, you know, who gives a fuck? Like, this boys don't cry. Who gives a fuck if I'm a boy and I cry? Who gives a fuck if I'm a grown woman and I cry? Who gives a fuck if I failed? Like, I don't care about that. I knew going into it that this was something that I felt called to, and I followed my heart. That's the energy that your spirit team and that your higher self, that your soul is longing to be in. Just this energy of, you know, I feel like I want this, I'm going to go for it. I feel like this makes me sad. I don't, you know, sadness is a tricky one, because sometimes sadness can tell you that something is wrong, and sometimes, you know, if there's like a pain of the sadness there where, you know, somebody's mistreating you or they're hurting you or you're feeling misunderstood, that kind of sadness and pain, that's telling you that something's wrong. But there's also a different kind of sadness, say if you lose a loved one or something like that. It's telling you that there was a great love there. There's no pleasure without pain, you know what I mean? And it's important to feel that sadness if you have lost something that you loved, because the more you ignore that sadness, the more that you're also going to dissociate from that love that you felt, you know what I mean? It can get to a point where even thinking about the good times that we had with somebody or the good times we had in a certain situation, that makes us uncomfortable as well. That causes us pain as well, so we don't think about that either. And that's not what we want, you know what I mean? We want to be able to think about our loved ones and remember those good times. But to do that, you have to accept that there's also sadness, there's also pain, and it's okay to feel that too, you know? It's not the end to feel pain. Pain is natural. sadness is natural, and there's no shame in that. It's just as natural as being happy, you know what I mean? Failure is just as natural as being successful. You can't have one without the other. So I think your spirit team is really coming through to bring that message to you guys. And now the last card here that you guys got with the Intuition Oracle is the Emperor with number 22. It says, I am worthy of respect because I am respectful of all. And I want to go ahead and just read that one to you guys because these ones are really, this guidebook does a really good job of just giving a strong spiritual message. So I'll show you the image for that while I read it. How deserving of respect you feel, as well as how willing you are to show respect for others, are crucial matters now. There may be resentment toward authority that is preventing necessary actions from being taken. There may be reluctance to take on the role of an authority because of negative associations with that role. Sometimes we must defend the boundaries we must set to protect ourselves from invasion. Sometimes we must defend the boundaries we must set to protect ourselves from invasive or other inappropriate behavior towards us. If we do not feel that we deserve to be respected, we are much more likely to suffer from the actions of others who need to be told that they have gone too far. Be aware that the people who you feel are most deserving of respect also have these natural feelings of self-doubt. Those who come to respect themselves learn to accept themselves as they are. Many hurtful attitudes are the result of cultural egoism and prejudices blindly accepted as fact. Root out these poisonous ideas in yourself and be aware of them in others. Wow, so yeah, very much relating to this boys don't cry energy. It's like there's things about yourself that you're shaming. You're shaming if you get upset, you're telling yourself, oh, I shouldn't be upset about this. This isn't something to be upset about. If you're frustrated, you're saying, oh, well, I'm just being too picky. I'm asking for too much. If you're disappointed, same thing. I'm asking for much. I'm being too much. If you're sad, you're saying, I'm too sensitive. You know, if you're happy, you're saying, oh, this isn't something to be that happy about. I didn't really do anything that great. All these things I feel like you guys are subjecting yourself to, and that really needs to change because you guys deserve so much better than that. You don't deserve that from other people. You definitely don't deserve that from yourself. And it's a lot easier, you know, to get angry at other people when they belittle us like that, but it's a lot harder to catch ourselves when we're belittling ourselves in that way. So, huge call there. I had a feeling there was a reason why I wasn't called to talk about this card until the very end of this energy check, because that's kind of the root, I think, of where all this is coming from. Like, you know, the root is, like I said, in childhood, we are told things, we are conditioned, we are taught things, we learn by observing the world around us, and what you guys learned throughout your life is you're not worthy of respect, your feelings don't matter, your intuition is not right, you're too sensitive, you're too emotional. Yeah, exactly. Boys don't cry. That's basically someone telling you you're too emotional, you shouldn't be that way. There's no way that you shouldn't be. You are who you are, and your higher self and your soul and your spirit team really want you to embrace that. Everything about who you are is perfect the way it is. With this card here saying sword, make the change isn't that there's something wrong with you and you need to change all those things. Like, there's a bunch of things wrong with you and you need to change all those things, which is probably how you live life right now. You're like, oh, I'm too sensitive, I need to learn how to be more calloused, I need to learn how to be more tough. you know, I'm not working hard enough, all this kind of stuff. You think those are the changes that need to be made, but those are not the changes that need to be made. The changes that need to be made are like here, she's cutting off her hair, she's, you know, with this death card, like I said, we talk about endings to bring in new beginnings. You've built up this false persona of yourself, and you're not the only one. We all do this throughout our lives. Because, like I said, we're taught certain things that are outside of our own, you know, autonomous beliefs. But yeah, what you guys are being called to do is make the change of shedding all these expectations and beliefs of everybody else that are clouding your mind and clinging to your ego that's trying to protect you, and change to be more of yourself. Like I said, live more in the moment, become more in your bodies, find a way to dissociate much less and sit in your feelings. If you guys are feeling you know, it's okay to dissociate sometimes. Sometimes feelings can be really heavy and we need to separate ourselves from that for a little bit, but you can't keep doing that. You can't do that forever. Eventually you need to face those feelings. You need to create a safe space for yourself. If you guys need a therapist, so that you have somebody who's not going to judge you, that you can talk to. If you guys have anyone in your life that you know will not judge you, that will just listen to you and support you and give you space to just be your true self, please spend more time with those people, because that's the practice that you guys are being called to make. That's the practice you guys want to be making, is to, like I said, be embracing yourself and letting yourself feel your feelings. If you know you're not happy with your job, you need to face that, and like I said, take a risk of, you know, maybe looking for another job and being open to completely changing your career path, whatever it might be. This could be relationships as well. It could be so many things, but just in general, you know, all the ways that you're not showing yourself the utmost respect. The utmost respect is, I respect you enough to know that your choices are your own, and whatever you want to do with your own body, with your own mind, with your own time in your life, I respect that. That's up to you to choose. And that's the respect that you guys really need to start cultivating within yourselves. Is, you know, I want to quit my job that I've been working at for 5 years, and I want to start something new because I'm not happy here, and I think I could be much happier working with animals or doing something creative or whatever it might be. You know what I mean? Going somewhere where I'm more respected, and just where I feel more passionate, you know? That's a good enough reason for you to respect yourself and make that effort, take that risk to go in that direction. And like I said, even if you go on an interview and you don't get the job, we can see that as a form of failure. That's no reason to lose respect for yourself. That doesn't mean that you're not worthy of a new job. In those situations, it's very important to remember that rejection is divine protection and redirection. If there's something that you go for that you don't get, that was not good enough for you. It's not that you weren't good enough for them, it's that they were not good enough for you. So that's where I'm going to end the energy check here. And now I'm going to use the anime tarot, and we're just going to get advice and guidance. I've been doing blessings and challenges, but, you know, again, just off my intuition, that just hasn't been feeling right, so I'm changing that up. Just because I feel like it, you know? Just because you feel like it is a good enough reason to do anything you want in this world. You don't need to justify your actions to anybody. You don't need to explain yourself to anybody. Your explanations, even if you do have them, they don't have to make sense to anyone else. They just have to make sense to you. And what you have to work on is dealing with other people's reactions. Other people are going to react like, oh, that's stupid, or oh, what are you thinking, or oh, that's kind of crazy, or oh, that's kind of reckless. They'll say all kinds of things, but it's not their life. They don't have all the information that you have. It's not their time. It's not their life that it's affecting. So don't let their opinions about what you're doing hold you back in life, So what kind of advice and guidance do we have for group 1 for this next week, for the second week of September? Advice and guidance. Jesus. I don't know what happened there. Oh my god. Okay. Advice and guidance for group 1. That's something. That's a lot. That's too much, but this one flipped over. We'll take that. Advice and guidance for group 1. Why are these? Oh yeah, that's just how this deck is. They kind of clump up. I remember now that it's not the easiest to shuffle that way and get the flyers. So I feel like that's plenty. The advice coming out for you guys for this next week is 1, be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. 4 of Swords, in the original imagery, it shows somebody basically sleeping, resting. I think you guys need that right now. I think you guys get so worked up in your head of, what are these people thinking about me? What are these people gonna think about this thing that I'm doing? Oh, I just did this. How did that make this person feel? Oh, I just offended this person. Where am I going in my life? Am I doing enough? Am I slacking? Am I lazy? All these kind of thoughts that you don't need to have. They're not serving you. Spend some more time relaxing, taking care of yourself, taking care of your body. Take a freaking bubble bath, get a massage, things like that. Get some nice smelling candles if that's something you like. Get a new cozy comforter or stuffed animal, whatever it is, whatever the hell you want, whatever's going to make you feel good. You deserve that. I'm getting very emotional giving this message. It's like I feel like I'm talking to somebody that I love who is very special to me, and like I said, they just deserve so much more happiness in their lives, and I can't help them because they're not taking care of themselves. And I just really want to tell you, like, please be easy on yourself. Like, I'm being easy on you. The people that truly love you will always accept you no matter what you want to do. And yeah, just you deserve the best of everything in the world, but it has to really start with you, because most of the time, if not every time, we can be the worst what's the word, perpetuators of negative treatment towards ourselves. So yeah, with this 4 of Swords, it's really calling you to slow down, to take care of yourselves, to respect yourself and love yourself much more than you are right now. And yeah, with this Devil card coming out, advice is also to, you can see these characters are all tied up in chains. They're shackled. like I said before, there's ways that you guys are dissociating. There's things that you're chained to that are preventing you from moving forward. Sometimes these chains can be, like I said, this lack of respect for ourselves. This lack of respect for ourselves is keeping us chained and keeping us from being free and being happy. Like I said, this could be alcohol, any type of substances, any other kinds of addictions. Like I said, this can be shopping, video games, TV, working out, eating kind of disorder things. And again, if you need a professional, it's very important that you guys do that in this situation. But at the very least, make yourself aware and be honest about what are these things that are unhealthy for you, these unhealthy attachments, these unhealthy distractions that you have, and really, do your best to replace those things with things that are going to be more self-care oriented, because at the end of the day, getting drunk till you puke, that's not healthy. It might feel good for a little bit before you get to that point, but then there's shame and guilt and all this stuff that comes after. It's literally doing physical damage to your body. Like I said, with any of those other unhealthy habits or addictions that I mentioned, it's the same thing. It is hurting you at a certain point. So it's really important that, like I said, you try to take those things and replace them with something that's going to actually benefit you, something that's going to care for you. Treat yourself as if you were your best friend. If your best friend had the choice between getting drunk till they puke and just not thinking about any of their problems and going to a spa for the day and getting themselves pampered or something like that, what would you really want for them? What do you think would be better for them? And kind of relate that to yourself. So that's everything I have for you guys, group 1. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this reading, please let me and others know by hitting the thumbs up. If there's any messages you guys have for me or anyone else in our community of misfits, please express those down in the comments. And if you would like to see this channel continue and grow, please show your support by subscribing if you haven't already, and tell your friends to check it out if they're into spiritual shit. Thank you again. Sending you guys peace, love, healing energy, and until next time, later. What up, group 2? If you guys chose this owl right here, and this is going to be your reading for the second week of September 2023, the 11th through the 17th. So, starting with the energy check here. Remember, energy check is your chance to see if the messages that start coming through are resonating with you. If they are, then this is the group that you need to hear. If not, then it's probably a good time to go back to the pile selection and choose a different group that will have messages more relevant to what you need to hear right now. And also, this is where I ask your spirit team, what are the main energies and, areas of your life that they want you to focus on over this next week. So we're going to start with a song here. That one seems to want to come out. Burn by Usher. So obviously we're talking about letting go here. We're talking about ending something that needs to end. The lyrics that stand out to me in this song are when he says, I think that you should let it burn. He says, when the feeling ain't the same and your body don't want to, but gotta let it go, 'cause the party ain't jumping like it used to. Even if I forget that last lyric, but it's basically, yeah, like the feeling is not the same in your heart, and you know you gotta let it go. Because the party ain't jumping like it used to. It just doesn't feel the same. You know, nothing stays the same forever. I would highly suggest that you guys look into attachment styles if it's not something that you're already familiar with. Even if it's something that you are somewhat familiar with, maybe it's time to get a little bit deeper into that and really focus on that right now. Because that's kind of what can happen sometimes, and I'm guessing that's why this is coming out for you guys, is because you guys are very attached to something or someone, and you're having trouble accepting the fact that things are not the same as they once were. And like I said, this could be a job, this could be a relationship, this could be so many things. This could be a relationship to a substance, to a type of community, whatever it is. Like, people change. It's okay for us to change. It's okay for us to not connect with people the same way we once did. That's okay. That's natural. You know, if we stayed in contact with every single person we ever made a connection with in life, that would be extremely overwhelming and honestly just not even possible. It's not realistic. Yeah, it's just not possible. There's only so much time in the day. We have so many things to do. You can't be talking to 1,000 people every day, you know? Not to belittle the situation, I know this can be a very tough thing to do, and I'm guessing with the song Burn coming out that it is something that's going to be difficult for you guys to do. But again, your spirit team really wants you to recognize that this is a natural those both wanted to come out. This is a natural part of life, and you know, there's certain things that, like I said, they're natural, and the more we fight them, the more it's just prolonging the inevitable, the more it's causing more suffering, and the more it's preventing us from moving on to finding better things. So with this Medusa card, let me just double check what's kind of the vibe of that one. I haven't seen it too many times. Okay. So Medusa talks about rebirth, shedding your skin, changing, you know. That's what, yeah, that makes sense because we have all this snake imagery, and, you know, snakes represent transformation and change. The snake sheds its skin to make way for new skin. This song Burn, it's talking about letting one relationship with something or someone, letting that relationship burn so that a new relationship can be brought in, one that's going to be more fulfilling and make you both happier. One that's going to be more aligned for both parties. With this priest card coming out, this one talks about kind of rules and traditions, that kind of thing. So maybe that's something you guys need to think about. It doesn't usually come up in much of a, well, I mean, it just depends on the context, but since we're talking about change and letting go here, maybe part of what you need to let go is kind of traditionally what other people think, or just how other people might judge you. Judgment of others, I think, is kind of the broad way that it's coming through here. You know, a priest in in the kind of religions I'm thinking of, I'm not going to say anything in specific, but just the energy is if you ask a priest, is what I did here right or wrong, they will have an answer for you because they're following some kind of book or some kind of tradition that tells people this is right and this is wrong. God wants you to do this, God doesn't want you to do that. This is my channel. I'm here to express myself and say my opinion, so I will say I don't think that's how God wants us to live. I don't think God is here to judge us and tell us this is right, this is wrong, this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do. I think that God is this pure, unconditionally loving, creative energy, and they are here to give us the power to create anything that we want in our lives. So if there's anything telling you that by you letting go of something that you feel doesn't serve you anymore, that doesn't make you happy anymore, that doesn't make your life better in some way, then it's time to think about, how much you let other people's opinions and expectations control your actions, because I don't think that's how you want to be living. I think you want to be living a life where you are free to be yourself, to make the decisions that you want to make. I think you want to be surrounded by a group of people that you trust, a group of people that makes your life better, a group of people that gives you joy, happiness. Yeah, and I think with this Medusa card coming out, with the snakes and the transformation, maybe this person, people, situation, job, community, whatever it might be, maybe this is something that you've been a part of for a long time. So it's like seeming even harder to make this transition and make this change and set up these boundaries. But this is something that you can't deny. Deep down, I think you guys are I find myself a little stuck trying to read this energy, and I think it's because you guys are very much in your head about this, and you're thinking too much about the consequences, how other people are going to feel, how other people are going to see this, whether this is the right or wrong thing to do. All these type of things that you're filling your thoughts with and your head with, trying to make a decision that you already know intuitively and emotionally that you've already made. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of time until you actually let that out. So makes sense that the two cards you got from the Intuition Oracle are the desirable and the truthful, because one, you need to pay attention to your desires. I accept my desires as a pure expression of my essential self. That's the only reason you need to make any kind of change in your life. If you desire to not be friends with somebody anymore, if you desire to not be in a relationship with somebody anymore, if you desire to not be at a job anymore, that is enough reason for you to make those changes. You don't have to explain that in a way that's going to make sense to everybody. You don't have to explain that in a way that's going to make sense to anybody except for you. Like I said, maybe people are out here judging you, but you don't have to judge yourself, okay? And, God, Spirit, the universe is definitely not judging you in any way. They're just here to help you and listen to you and see what you want and try to give you that. So yeah, if this is something you desire, letting go of something that is not bringing you happiness, then that is what your spirit team wants you to do. And with the truthful, I speak my truth and expect everyone I care about to do so too. These really go hand in hand, the desirable and the truthful. You can have desires and not express them. You can express things that are not what you truly desire. You guys want to do these things in harmony. You want to practice more of... I used to work at In-N-Out Burger, and one thing I remember they taught me when I was training to be a manager, and as I was going through management, like learning how to be a leader of people, one thing that I learned that I really liked and agreed with was, if you see something, say something. So many times in our life, in our relationships, like I said, in our jobs, with ourselves, just with the inner dialogue that we have, thinking about our lives and where we're going and what we're doing with it, we see something but we don't say something. We desire something but we don't express it. Like, if you guys, you're being called to think less and do more. When you guys feel something, act on it. If you guys have something to say it in the moment. Don't wait for the right time. Don't talk yourself out of it saying, "Oh, maybe I'm just tripping and I'll feel differently about this later." Like, trust yourself. Be an advocate for yourself. Be your own best friend. Like, if your friend was saying, "Oh, I'm having doubts about my relationship. I feel like when I'm with this person, I'm not happy," or, whatever it might be. I've ended relationships with people in my own family that, like I said, I have, that were part of my life for a long time, but I started to realize that what I was feeling inside was that I'm not connected to these people. These people don't support me. These people don't respect me. And I'm just not happier for having them in my life. And by getting them out of my life, that's not me doing anything wrong. That's me doing something good for myself, bringing myself more happiness. And that's, giving those people the freedom to connect with people that they are more aligned with. You know what I mean? Like I said, that's what Spirit wants for all of us. That's what we all want for ourselves. We want to be around people that we resonate with. We want to be around people who understand us. So, again, even if you are going to try to play into the logic part of it, that is logical for you to end relationships with people that you don't like being around, that your relationship does not fulfill you the way that you want your relationships to fulfill you. If the energy is not as reciprocal as you would like it to be, if you're always giving and they're always taking, if you're always listening and they're always talking, these are not the relationships that are meant for us. Real, genuine, aligned connections are going to be very much equal. Obviously not 100%. It's not like, "Oh, I paid $21 for lunch this time, so next time we have to get lunch that's exactly $21 and you have to pay," or whatever. It's not like that, but it's just that idea of, like I said, if you have something to talk about, they will sit there and listen to you. And if they have something to talk about, then you want to be there and sit there and listen to them too. The desire is there for both of you. Neither of you is doing it because you feel pressured. Neither of you is doing it out of guilt. Neither of you is doing it out of fear of judgment. You know what I mean? You guys are doing it because you both genuinely want to be there. So yeah, that's a big message coming out there. And with this other card over here, it says, "Homeward, take yourself out on a date." I think this is definitely some advice to spend a little bit more time alone. Like I said, I got this very mental, kind of chaotic energy. Maybe you guys are very extroverted. Maybe you guys are spending a lot of time with other people to distract yourself. from your feelings or things like that. But your spirit team is really kind of giving you some medicine here, saying that it will really help you to spend some time alone, get everyone else's thoughts and opinions and judgments and expectations out of your head, and really get in touch with your own body and your soul and see what it wants. You know what I mean? I would say, if you can, literally take yourself on a date. Go to lunch, go to dinner, go to a coffee shop, whatever you like to do. Go skydiving. I don't know what you like. Go play mini golf by yourself. Whatever kind of date that you're comfortable taking yourself on. Go to the movies by yourself. Watch a movie that maybe not everybody else wants to watch, but that you want to watch. And you can do that at home too. We watch movies at home as well. But just, like I said, get more in touch with yourself. Because, yeah, I'm really getting the energy here that you guys may have some people-pleasing tendencies where you're always trying to do what's best for everybody, when what you really desire is to do what's best for yourself. You know what I mean? And a lot of this energy is very similar to group 1, so I will give you guys similar advice I gave to them. And as I was trying to say that it's connected to group 1, it flew out of my head. But yeah, just spend more time getting in touch with your own desires, your own truth, and try to find the strength to express that to other people and make it okay to hurt their feelings, if need be, because it's not actually you hurting their feelings, it's their feelings getting hurt because they're trying to hold on to something that clearly isn't working either, or being afraid, based off their own attachment styles and that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm going to move on to the tarot now, and I'm just going to ask for advice and guidance for you guys. In the past, I was doing blessings and challenges, but that just has stopped feeling right. It started to get a little confusing, and like I said, that's part of this journey, is just being able to listen to your intuition and saying, this doesn't feel right, I'm not going to do it anymore, I'm going to try something new. So what advice and guidance do we have for group 2? Seven of Pentacles. The Hangman in reverse. Okay, so very clear advice and guidance here. Seven of Pentacles coming out first is telling me to tell you guys that this is a whole process. This is not just, hey, don't give a shit about what anybody else thinks. There's so many people out there saying that, and it is good advice, and it is something that's good for us to hear often, but it's not that simple. There's things we have to do. I think that's what I was going to suggest to you guys earlier, is think about things that happen to you. That is what I blanked out on earlier. I'm so glad that came back up. Go back to childhood and see, things that you guys were taught growing up, even in your teenage years, whatever. See, and like I said, really look into those attachment styles, if you can, and see where where these people-pleasing tendencies come from, and where, you know, you guys have been conditioned to overthink. With this desirable and the truthful energy I was talking about before, where it's like you see something, you say it. That's something that can be conditioned to us when we're young. People tell us, think before you speak. People say, oh, you shouldn't have said that, that was stupid, or all kinds of stuff where they make us start to develop this habit of overthinking, when really it could just be as simple as, I want to end this relationship, I'm going to end it. I'm not happy with something, I'm going to express that to you and tell you that, hey, this is something that I want to change in our relationship, I do want to say that when it comes to ending relationships, or, relationships not serving us, relationships not satisfying us, it's not always just, cut it off and that's it. Sometimes your intuition will tell you, maybe if this could just change, then things will be better. But if you're not being truthful about that, if you're not speaking that, and you're just waiting for the thing to change, then that's where you can really get stuck. If you're in a situation, a relationship, or something with your job where there's something wrong, and you don't want to ditch the whole thing and start over completely, if that's not what you're feeling called to do right now, then at least speak up about the things that you're not happy about. Just tell people the things that are bothering you, and give them and yourself a chance to make a repair there and make things better. But if you express something and things don't get better from that, then maybe that will give you the sign that this thing is just not aligning. You know what I mean? But yeah, with the Seven of Pentacles, it's really just saying that be patient with this, and know that where you are now and where you're trying to go, and getting to this place where you can just see something and say it, where you can just feel something and express that as your truth without worrying about what everybody else is going to think, that's going to take some time. I almost said it's going to take a long time, but I didn't want to scare or discourage you guys. But I think it's important to be realistic. This will take time, good amount of time. So it's important to remember to just take things one step at a time and celebrate those small victories. If you can just do one thing today to be more honest and speak up about the things you desire, if you can do that one time every day, that will lead to huge changes in the future. That will become a habit. People are creatures of habit. If your habit is to always overthink, that's what you're gonna keep doing. If your habit is to keep everybody else's opinions and expectations and judgments in mind when you're making your decisions, that's what you're gonna keep doing. If you can try to build a new habit where, like I said, you see it, you say it, you feel it, you say it, you feel it, you do it. Again, that will take time, but that will be your new habit, and all of a sudden you'll be living this life where you're so much more free and you're so much more happy because you're just living straight from your heart space. You're just getting what you want, you know what I mean? And things will be working out for you so much better than when you're just hiding everything inside and wishing and hoping that things will change around you. They're not. You have to make them change. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's Seven of Pentacles advice and guidance. With the Hanged Man in reverse, it's also pointing to that overthinking energy. The hangman represents taking a break, taking stock of, things you've learned, and really, taking a time out before you take action. When the hangman is coming out in reverse, especially in this context, it's telling me that you guys really need to embrace that energy of, how I said before, think less, do more. Spend less time in your head and spend more time living in the world. We are meant to live life. We're not meant to just sit here and contemplate life and fantasize about what could be. We're here to live what we want. We're here to make life everything it could be. You know what I mean? Because the only difference between could be and is action. You know what I mean? So I really don't have any more words than that to kind of sum that up. I hope this reading resonated with you guys and that it was helpful. But that's everything I have for you guys. Group 2, so thank you so much for watching and for sharing your energy with me. If you enjoyed this reading, please let me and others know by hitting that thumbs up. If there are any messages you have for me or anyone else in our community of misfits, please express those down in the comments. And if you would like to see this channel continue and grow, please show your support by subscribing and telling your friends to check it out if they're into spiritual shit. Thank you again. Sending you guys peace, love, healing energy, and until next time, later. What up, Group 3? If you guys chose this owl right here, this is going to be your reading for the second week of September 2023, the 11th through the 17th. So we're going to start out with the energy check. The energy check is your chance to start listening to the messages coming out, and if it's resonating with you, then you got the right group. If it's not so much, then maybe go back to the pile selection and choose a different group. And this is also the portion of the reading where I'm asking your spirit team what are the main ideas and energies that they want to discuss with you in this reading and what they want you to focus on over this next week. So let's start out with the song here. You guys got Take Care featuring Rihanna by Drake. So a lot of lyrics in this song that I like. Guess I'll just start and kind of see what comes up from there. But obviously the Rihanna part says, I know you've been hurt by someone else. I can tell by the way you carry yourself. And if you let me, here's what I'll do. I'll take care of you. And then the other part that's coming up is when Drake says, we all have our nights, girl, don't be so ashamed. I've had mine, you've had yours, we both know, we know. So yeah, between those two parts of the song, I think kind of what's coming up is that there's some maybe past trauma that you guys have lived through and experienced that is now affecting your life and your relationships with others and your relationship with yourself in the present moment. And the fact that part came out where Drake says, don't be so ashamed, I've had mine, you've had yours, we both know. Maybe there is an element of shame that comes with that. Maybe there's some things that you guys, like I said, have internalized from the past, where maybe certain parts of you expressing your true self. Other people said that's shameful, you shouldn't be doing that. But moving forward, it's very important that you guys embrace your true selves and embrace all parts of yourselves and live based off your own judge of your own character, you know what I mean? Not what other people say is shameful or what you should be ashamed for. Like, if something makes you happy, then you deserve to do it. Doesn't matter what anybody else says. Like, yeah, so a lot coming up at once. The part where Rihanna's saying, if you let me, here's what I'll do, I'll take care of you. I think that's talking about, like I said, not only your relationship with others, but your relationship with yourself. I think there's a part of yourself that maybe is used to taking care of others, so maybe taking care of yourself is kind of sometimes becomes your last priority, and that's definitely something that we want to change. With this balance card coming out here, I think that the message there is to find a balance. Yes, it is good to take care of other people. That is part of why we're here. We're here to interact. We're here to have connections with people. We're here to uplift this world around us. We're here to cooperate with each other, to help each other realize our dreams. But at the same time, we need to be giving a lot of that energy to ourselves as well. We need to be taking care of ourselves. The balance comes in where, if it's kind of tough for you to know when should I be taking care of others, when should I be taking care of myself, it's if an action that you're going to take care of someone else is going to impede on you taking care of yourself, then that's where the balance goes out of whack. So a word that just popped into my head is boundaries. Maybe something you guys need to work on over this next week is setting up and establishing boundaries with the people around you and with yourself. I talk about like social media and substances and these kind of things. Any kind of like addictions or distractions that we can succumb to, those boundaries we have to set with ourselves. If we're not taking control of that and setting boundaries with how often every day we're going to be on our phone, how long we're going to be on our phone, how much of these substances we're going to consume, how often we're going to consume them, those types of things, then we're going to fall prey to imbalance. Things are just going to be out of control, and you're probably going to be doing too much and getting burnt out in certain areas, and it's going to be unhealthy. The song was Take Care, so it's really a call to make sure that you are being taken care of, that you're taking care of yourself, that you're accepting care from other people. Again, when you are somebody who's so used to being the caretaker, sometimes when somebody wants to take care of us, we can be ashamed of that. Maybe somebody told us, you shouldn't need anybody to take care of you, you should be able to do everything yourself and be 100% self-sufficient. That is a lie. Nobody in this world is 100% self-sufficient. We all rely on others to get by in life. That's what makes us human. Human beings cannot survive without cooperating. You cannot just give birth to a human being and let them fend for themselves and they will be totally self-sufficient their whole life. They're going to die right away. We need to be taking care of each other. That doesn't end in childhood. That goes all the way into adulthood until the day we die. We need to be taking care of each other. So if there's any part of you that feels ashamed for accepting help, for asking for help, that is something to really be looking at over this next week and to be focusing on, where's that coming from? How do I work with that? If you guys need to go to therapy, to talk to somebody, have a safe space, non-judgmental space to talk to somebody, please look into that. Otherwise, if there's people in your family that you can talk to about these things, somebody that you trust, that you can say, hey, I'm having trouble asking for help. It's not something that's ever been easy for me. When I was younger, this is how I was raised to think about accepting help. Would it be okay with you if every once in a while I ask you for help? Just simple things like that. Communicating openly can be such a refreshing and life-changing thing. And I think that's what you guys are being called to do. With this potion card, it's giving me the energy of you guys are also not, I think I actually mentioned it before, that you're not accepting and embracing all parts of yourselves. And this potion also plays into the balance, the message of balance. When you're making a potion, you need the right amount of the right ingredients to make things work. So, if the potion is something that you're manifesting, if the potion is some internal change you're trying to make, if the potion is, some external change you're trying to make in your life, in your relationships, in your career, your job, whatever it might be, you need to look at taking a balanced approach. For example, if you're looking to become more successful in your career, if you're only focused on working harder and working longer to achieve that, that is not a balanced approach. That's not all it takes to become successful. To become successful, it also takes rest. You need to be taking care of yourself. Because if you're not taking care of, if you're depleting yourself by overworking, then eventually you're going to burn out and you're going to have to rest, or you're going to get sick, and that's going to pull you away from being able to work harder and to be able to become more successful. And it's also going to prevent you from being able to even enjoy that success. You're going to be working so hard and focused on always working harder and always moving to the next step that you're never going to take a break to look at how far you've come and appreciate all the hard work you've already done, and you're not going to be able to enjoy the success that you've cultivated for yourself. You're not even going to feel successful. You're going to feel like, okay, now I did this, now I need to reach this next milestone. So yeah, very much a huge message of balance, self-care, again, looking into maybe people-pleasing tendencies, maybe areas where you're overdoing for others and underdoing for yourself. Now I want to go to this Believe in Your Own Magic card. It says, Castle, it's time for healing, not war. So what that's telling me is what I just said about the being over-focused on the masculine side of things, of I need to make this happen, I need to keep working, I need to work harder, I need to be successful. I'm pretty sure you guys are definitely on that end of the spectrum, and that's where your balance is tipping out of whack. So it's saying here, instead of being at war, instead of fighting against where you're at and thinking that where you're at is so terrible that you need to fight and fight to be somewhere better, now it's time for healing. It's time to slow down. It's time to take care of yourself. It's time to reflect on how much fighting you've already done and let it be okay for yourself for a little while to not be fighting, to just be enjoying life. Instead of treating your job like a job, try to treat it as a gift, you know what I mean? Treat it as a passion. Remember what that's like. Also, I'm getting the imagery that in war, there's a winner and there's a loser. But I don't think that's what you guys want. I think, when it comes to the things we want to manifest, when it comes to relationships, we might see it as there's a winner and a loser. Either I get to be with this person or someone else does, and if I can't be with them, then I lost to that other person. That's a mindset, that's a perception. If you can change that, then you can change your reality. If you can see it as, I'm not competing with anybody, I'm just here trying to find the love of my life. I'm here to try to find a relationship, whatever it might be. And I will find that person. And if the person I'm interested in right now and the person that I think is going to be that person ends up wanting to be with someone else, then that was the right person for them. And the right person for me is still out there. You know, this is a more healing mindset rather than a mindset of everything is a battle. I think your spirit team and your higher self, your soul deep down, wants to stop feeling like they're constantly fighting, like they're constantly struggling. They want to feel like their life is enjoyable, their life is fun, they can enjoy their life is pleasurable. Do more things that bring you pleasure, you know what I mean? Enjoy sensual pleasures, things you can touch that make you feel better, things you can smell that make you feel better, things that you can eat that might bring you happiness. All these kinds of things. Try to enjoy some of the more simple things in life instead of always thinking that life is not enjoyable unless you have this much amount of money, or if you're doing these kind of wild things, or if you're taking a vacation every 2 months or even every year. Like, not everybody does that. Not everybody needs to do that to be happy. Some people like where they live. Some people love being around their family, their friends. Some people love their job. I think you guys want that for yourself. Try to, start with that and create a stable foundation so that your life can be balanced. You know what I mean? If you're constantly grabbing for success, if you're constantly reaching for success, but you hate where you're at, you're not going to get there. You need to create a stable foundation for yourself to where everything you do comes from love, comes from passion, comes from enjoyment. If everything you're doing comes from stress and struggle and lack, thinking that I lack this or I need this, that's all you're going to keep getting. You're going to keep pulling that into your life. So yeah, really, really asking you to, like I said, focus on your foundation of where your life is at right now. The simple things, where you live, where you work, your relationships, your relationship with yourself, your mental health, your physical health. All these are the foundation of where success comes from. Success doesn't just fall into our laps. It comes from cultivating a balanced life based on a stable foundation, okay? So, big channeled message there from your team. So now the last thing I want to talk about is this initiator card that I'm going to read from the book. It says, "The initiator, I overcome resistance and do what must be done now." So let's see what this has to say a little more in depth. You cannot make significant changes in your life if you cannot overcome your natural resistance to doing what you know has to be done. If you can initiate action to improve your situation in spite of any fears and insecurities, you will soon see positive results. Fear of the unknown is the biggest obstacle to making a change. However, you must have confidence that you possess an innate ability to guide yourself on the proper course to achieve your desires. Indecisiveness is incompatible with initiation. You must not allow inertia or any other common obstacle to stop you from making changes you know are essential. There is an urgency to this card. You cannot wait any longer, even though you may want to gather more information before you act. You must see your situation stripped bare of any elements that are not really important and make your decision based only on what is real and meaningful to you. Wow, so that's very powerful. That's telling me that you guys are a very, very powerful person, much more powerful than you realize, much more powerful than you see yourself as. Like I said, right now you guys are living from this lack mindset where you guys are thinking, I only have so much to offer. If I'm going in, like I said, you're coming at it from this competing standpoint. Um, I don't know. It said something about that here, but yeah, I just get the energy that you guys are seeing everything as competition, where you need to be better than other people. You need to be working harder than everyone else in order to have what you want. But like I said, you're not competing with anybody. You're living your own path. What anybody else has does not take away from you. This world, this universe is full of more than enough of what we need. It's just up to us to, like I said, find a balanced way to take actions towards towards attracting these things into our life. Um, it says here, you must see your situation stripped bare of any elements that are not really important and make your decision based only on what is real and meaningful to you. So yeah, going back to what I said about competing with people, I just saw this little like snippet of an interview from Terry Crews. He's an actor, and what he said was, "Don't try to be the best. Try to be the only." He said, I got to where I am today by being the only Terry Crews. There's no other Terry Crews in the world, so what I have to offer, nobody else can offer. There's no competition in that. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, I'm not going to say that I'm better at this than somebody. I'm worse than this compared to somebody else, but I'm the only person that does what I do, and in order for you to reach that point, you're going to have to let go of, like I said, all this competition, this competing mentality, and try to live your life based off your own desires and what it said here, what is meaningful to you. If you're living your life based off how much success you attain, you're not going to be happy. If you're living your life based off what is meaningful to you, you could be unsuccessful and still be really, really fucking happy. And I'm even saying unsuccessful, that's a judgment that doesn't even need to be placed, successful or not. If your life has meaning, you will be happy. Other people might see it as not successful because they define success as being worth this much money, or any type of quantifiable results that they can use to measure success. But you measure your own success. If success for you is waking up with a roof over your head, having food to eat, being able to take a shower and be clean, and going out into the world and doing a job that makes a positive difference in this world, and coming home and spending time with your family and telling them that you love them and making them feel loved and supported, and having people in your life that love and support you, if that's success to you, then you can be successful every single day starting right now. You don't need anything else. And I bet if you live in that energy, because nothing ever stays the same, if you can live in that energy, you're just going to attract more and more love. You're going to attract more and more meaning. You're going to attract more things to be grateful for, to be proud of. But if all you're thinking about, all you're feeling, the world you're living in is, oh, my apartment is too small, my house is too small, I should be living on an island somewhere, I should be living on I should have a beach house, I should have 5 bathrooms in my house, like all this kind of stuff. I should have 100,000 followers, I should have 1,000,000 followers, whatever, all this kind of stuff that can just suck the joy out of the life you actually have. You're focused on all these things that you don't have. You get taken so far away from all the beauty and abundance that is around you in this life, you know what I mean? So that's the message I'm getting for your guys' energy check is all that I just said. I don't know why I set it up like that, but let's get into your tarot. I actually, fun fact, felt called to switch up the tarot deck, so you guys are somewhat special in this case. Don't tell group 1 and 2, but you guys have a different tarot deck than I used for them. For them, I used the anime tarot, and for you guys, I was called to switch it up to the tarot of the divine, which is actually, that's weird that one got stuck and wanted to come out. This was my very first tarot deck that I ever bought for myself. So, again, special tarot deck for you guys, special tarot deck for me specifically. But what I'm going to ask with the tarot is just advice and guidance. I've been doing blessings and challenges, and I've just been feeling intuitively that that's not how I want to do it anymore. It's not really working for me. So I'm going to try to just leave it a little more general and just ask for advice and guidance. So group 3's spirit team, what advice and guidance do you have for them for this next week? Yeesh. Yep. What was this one? Yes. Is there one more? That's weird. 2 of them wanted to come out, but they didn't, so whatever's meant to come out will come out. Is there one more piece of advice or guidance? There it is. Okay. So, the 3 cards that came out for you guys were the Tower, the Hierophant, and the 7 of Cups in reverse. So, I'm going to start with the Tower because that was the one that kind of slipped out before I even started pulling. The Tower, that's so funny. I mean, I don't know if you guys will think it's funny, but it's definitely trippy, I'll say. The whole thing I was talking about with this card, I kept saying building a solid foundation. Literally the key thing that most people will say when we're talking about the Tower is the Tower shows the Tower, being destroyed, crumbling, and it's because this Tower was never built on a solid foundation. So I think this is advice and guidance for you guys that if right now you guys feel like your life is crumbling around you and everything's changing in such an overwhelming way, this is why. It's because the foundation that you guys are living your life on top of, that you guys are trying to build your life on, is not stable. You guys rushed up here, but since you're, it's like if you were building a tower. You were building a tower out of like blocks or something. If, you can get this high, by going fast, but eventually if the foundation is not stable enough, then it's all just going to come crashing down and you have to start over, and you will probably learn from that, oh, maybe I should go a little more slowly. Maybe I should make sure the base is more stable, and you become more intentional with your actions. So, like I said, if your life feels like it's out of control, if things are happening that you're like, why the fuck is this happening to me? This sucks. Why is God doing this to me? Why is the universe doing this to me? This is why. It is because the universe is here to give us everything we want. But if what you want is success, and like I said, you're trying to achieve it by rushing to get there, that's never going to work. The universe is trying to help you get to your success by showing you, hey, the way you're going to get to that success is by letting go of all this crap that's been in your energy, all this crap that's been in your mind, all this crap that you've been surrounding yourself with, and getting back to the foundation, getting back to your core, and building a solid foundation. Like I said, building a solid relationship with yourself, building a solid relationship with your loved ones, building a solid relationship with money, building a solid relationship with the idea of success, all those kinds of things. And if you're not in that stage right now where everything's crumbling around you, this is a very loving, and like it said with this initiator card, there's urgency here to make this change yourself, or it will happen for you. Either it's going to crumble like that all around you and it's going to be really intense and really scary, or you can stop right now and you can say, okay, you know what, I need to back off, I need to back up, let me take this away, let me take this away, let me take this away, and take yourself back to that foundation, and stay ahead of that tower moment and do it yourself. So that's the advice and guidance with that. With this Hierophant in reverse coming out, this is telling me that you guys need to be worried less about following the rules. There's no fucking rules for life. We are wild animals out here trying to figure out what the hell's going on and follow our urges and desires. You know what I mean? Like, there's no rule. People make rules, but it's a choice whether you want to follow them or not. Stop following the rules is one. Two is stop looking to the outside for answers to your life. Not stop. Okay. I don't want to get reckless here. There are some rules that are beneficial to follow, okay? But again, that's your choice. Choose what rules serve you to follow. Choose what rules are not serving you to follow. Two, it is beneficial to learn from others. Absolutely. People have so much wisdom that they can impart on us, knowledge that they can give to us. But, again, at the end of the day, you are the initiator. You are the main character. You are the one behind the driving wheel. You are the one making the choices. You are the one creating and shaping your life. So, I'm going to say this. If you're constantly looking for tarot readings to tell you the answers to your problems, to tell you which decision to make, think about that. Tarot readings should be used to, like I said, give you some advice, give you some guidance, give you some good, positive ideas in your head, give you things to reflect on, but ultimately, you should be choosing what advice you take and what advice you leave, okay? That's why people always say, and I know people hate on this because they're like, oh, well, you're just saying that so that you can be wrong, but it's like, no, that's what this is all about. Take what resonates and leave the rest. If something doesn't feel like it's meant for you, then don't just take it because you trust the other person. Like, for example, if you're watching an Instagram reel and it's from a page called Successful Entrepreneurs or something like that, and it's some billionaire giving their advice on how they got to where they are, and you hear that advice, don't just sit there and be in this passive state where you're like, oh, this person is a billionaire, I wish I was a billionaire, whatever they say must work and must be true for me. It's not. Whatever they say is based off their experience. It worked for them. But that doesn't mean that it's meant for you. You need to develop that relationship with your own intuition to decide how you're going to move forward in your life. You know what I mean? You will know if something resonates with you or it doesn't, as long as you're taking time to get in touch with yourself. And I always say there's hundreds of opportunities every day, if not thousands, I don't know, to exercise, to practice your intuition. This is something that takes practice. You're not just going to get better at following your intuition by affirming it and saying it. Like, it takes practice. When it comes to what you want to eat for your next meal, really sit and ask yourself, what do I want to eat? And if something comes up right away, then cool, you're very in touch with your intuition. But if something comes up and then immediately a thought comes in and you say, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't eat that because of this reason. And then you say, oh, but yesterday I was good about this, so maybe, it can get so much more complicated than it needs to be when it could just be, what do I want to eat? I want to eat this. Cool. But if you have like shame, body issues, control issues, so many things can play into, like I said, ideas around a lack mindset about money, whatever it might be. Maybe if you guys tend to be a little irresponsible with your money, even, like, that can play into whether you're deciding to eat this or that. But this is just one example. Like I said, there's literally a million things. You're choosing what you want to wear. A whole bunch of thoughts can come in. Maybe I shouldn't wear this. Maybe this isn't appropriate. All kinds of stuff. But if you can take those as little opportunities to practice getting in touch with your intuition and just being like, what do I want to do in this situation? That's something that you guys are being encouraged to do, okay? Yeah, like I said, worrying less about rules and not just doing things the way everybody else does them, but finding that connection to your own values, your own true self. With the Seven of Cups in reverse, it's telling me that you guys should also be, again, when you're rushing and you're just looking at what everybody else is doing and what everybody else calls success and what seems to make everybody else happy, you can get so disconnected from your own inner compass, from what your own soul wants, that you don't even know what you want anymore. This is telling me that you guys, there's a part of you that is not living a life aligned with what you truly want deep down, because you're so bombarded with images and messages of what everybody else wants and what makes everybody else happy and what everybody else's idea of success is, that you're just chasing that. And you might be going back and forth from, oh, I saw this person likes this, so I'm going to follow that trend. Now that's coming through big right now. Maybe you guys are somebody who gets caught up in following trends. Oh, this is trendy right now, so I'm going to do this. Oh, but now this is trendy, so I'm going to do this. And then none of it is really satisfying you, because none of it is what you actually want to do. You're just following the crowd, you know what I mean? And I think what you guys really, really want and what you're being encouraged to do is, like I said, get in touch with your own inner compass and say, when it comes to work, what do I want to do? In a world without money, what would I be wanting to do with my life? Because for me, I would definitely be doing these tarot readings. I mean, I don't even get paid for this now, so I am doing this out of joy and passion. But, stuff like that. If you guys love animals and you would be working with animals, find a job where you can work with animals. Do that now. We only get so much time in life, and we deserve to be really happy about it. We deserve to live our dreams. If you guys have dreams, but you're putting those aside and acting like you don't have those dreams because these more realistic things are more attainable, and then people will recognize you for that, and people will congratulate you for going down that other path, it's not going to fulfill you. It's not going to be meaningful to you. Um, so yeah, with the Seven of Cups, the message, simply put, is look at every area of your life. Again, we're going back to the foundation. Look at your relationships. Are the relationships in your life right now the ones that you want? If there's any relationships in your life that you feel like you don't want, but you're keeping to impress somebody, you're keeping out of guilt that if you end that relationship, then you're doing something wrong. If you're, whatever million things could be holding you back from ending a relationship that's not working for you, think about that. Build a circle that you love, that makes you happy. Um, Cups are all about emotional fulfillment. Seven of Cups is having all the options in front of you and you don't know which one to choose. You don't know which one is right for you, but you can if you get in touch with yourself and your intuition. Look at your relationships with substances, with recreational things, with your hobbies. Are they making you happy? Are you just doing them because the people around you like to do them? That was a big thing for me. I used to watch sports all the time, and I don't like sports at all. I have no interest in it whatsoever. No offense to anybody that does. My family likes to watch sports. I'll be there while they're watching sports, but I'm not really, paying 100% attention to it because it doesn't interest me, but that's okay. We can still love each other. I can still support them. They can still support me. We don't have to like the same shit. You know what I mean? But it took a while for me to stop pretending that I liked sports even though I didn't. So that might be another thing for you guys. Maybe there's something that you guys are doing that you're only doing because the people around you love it and you're afraid that if you admit that you're not as into it as they are, then you won't be connected to them anymore. But that's not the case. You can still be connected with people and have unconditional love for each other and acceptance for each other, even if you're not the same person and you don't like all the same things. You know what I mean? And like I said, when it comes to work with your job, is the job that you're working right now something that you're happy with? Like for me, I would love it if my job was reading these tarot cards and that was my main job. It's not. But the job that I do have to pay my bills right now, I love that too. I work with dogs all day, 40 hours a week. I have a full-time job, but I am literally babysitting dogs at a dog daycare. It's wonderful. And I think that's what you guys want too. Like, maybe your job to make you money isn't exactly the thing that you're most passionate about, but it's something that you can still enjoy. I think people spread this idea that you have to grind it out at a job that you hate in order to achieve the dream job that you want. That's not true. You can have a job that you love to pay the bills while you're working on your real, truly deep purpose and passion. You can have both, you know what I mean? And then eventually transition into the thing that you want to be your main thing, but you don't have to suffer. That's a mindset that we can get ourselves stuck in. And like I said, that's a mindset that can come from other people if you keep listening to them and listening to these people that say you have to struggle, you have to do shit that you don't want to do. Of course that's true. It's life, but you don't have to intentionally put yourself in that situation. That's gonna happen. Fucked up shit is gonna happen in life. You don't have to intentionally put yourself through that. God, you guys, your guys' messages are just like really, really flying through. But yeah, Seven of Cups, that last message for your advice and guidance is, imagine these 7 cups are 7 areas of your life. Like I said, relationships, hobbies, career, work. Work can be separate from career, education, I don't know, like I said, substances, like fashion, things you like to wear. whatever. Think about every area of your life and say, what do I actually want in this area? Not what does everybody else want. You know what I mean? When it comes to relationships, maybe everybody around you and everybody on social media is like getting married and having kids, so that's what you're striving for, like I said. But if that's based off of an unstable foundation where you don't even want to be married and have kids, you want to just find a partner and not get married but still be together forever, but also not have kids and just live life with each other, or you want to be polyamorous, or if you're asexual, aromantic, all these kinds of things, whatever it is that you actually are, if you try to chase everybody else's dream of being married and having kids, like, that's not fair to the person that you're going to marry. It's not fair to yourself. It's not fair to the kids that you're going to have that you at some level didn't even want. You know what I mean? That's terrible. Like, go back to the foundation and figure out what you want, because once you figure out what you want, you can have the dream version of all those aspects of your life. You can have all at the same time. You can have your dream job, you can have your dream relationship, you can have your dream home, you know what I mean? All this kind of stuff, you can have it all. But it starts when you actually know what you truly want, not just what you're influenced to want by everybody else or following what everybody else wants. So I think I'm starting to circle around there. So that's everything I have for you guys, Group 3. Thank you so much for watching and sharing your energy with me. If you enjoyed this reading, please let me and others know by hitting that thumbs up. If there's any messages you have for me or anyone else in our community of Misfits, please express those down in the comments. And if you would like to see this channel continue and grow, please show your support by subscribing if you haven't already, and telling your friends to check it out if they're into spiritual shit. Thank you again, guys. Thank you for being here. I'm sending you guys peace, love, healing energy, and until next time, later.